From in-person meetings to speaking from the stage to Zoom calls, your unique brand will be amplified when you have an authentic signature style. Our guest helps women entrepreneurs and professionals learn how to ditch the boring corporate uniform and adopt a more self-expressive wardrobe that empowers them, influences others, and has a bigger impact on their career or business. Hello, it's Fab Female Founder Friday on the Start of Life Live Show. Woohoo, let's glow. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Start of Life Live Show. I'm your host, Ande Lyons, 4 times founder and startup champion to founders around the world. And after raising 4 businesses of my own, I now share founder startup stories to help newly minted founders and business owners find the solutions and inspiration they need to succeed. And I am so grateful that you carved out time to up your founder game. You know, we have to constantly be improving our skills and finding the solutions that our businesses need as we grow them, right? So listening to other founder stories will pop up some incredible ideas for you to pull and use with your business. And more importantly, you realize you're not alone. You're not the only one who feels isolated or afraid or uncertain or like it's a roller coaster ride. Okay, so I'm so grateful that you tuned in. And I am really excited to introduce you to our guest. Let me just pull up a little overlay here before I start reading her background, okay? Because it's the divine and oh so amazing Solita Roberts. Now, check this out, okay? She's the creator of Style to Impact, an image consulting platform where she teaches women entrepreneurs and professionals how to ditch the boring corporate uniform and adopt, as I said earlier, more self-expressive wardrobe that empowers them and helps them influence others and has a bigger impact on their bottom line. And through one-on-one and group image coaching, Solita works with you to align your style personality with your industry, career, and business goals, and turn your image into your best marketing tool that empowers you, influences others, and takes you to the next level without compromising your femininity or your individuality. And you know, that's how we differentiate ourselves from others, right? It's not just our words or our product, it's how we show up in the world. Please join me in welcoming the most amazing Solita Roberts.
I was waiting to do that. I was like, oh, I don't have any clapper. Oh my gosh. But it's so amazing to be here.
And pom-poms are my best friends, I got to tell you. I am so happy you joined me today because nothing makes me happier than talking about style, accessories, etc. But folks, even if your style is a t-shirt and jeans, I know Solita is going to help you understand why that vibe is important for reaching your ideal clients and customers. So this is so great to have you on this show. And where are you hanging out from today, Solita?
I am in Atlanta, Georgia, Ande. So thanks again for having me, and for everyone that's watching the live or may watch the replay. It's so amazing to have you in the crowd. So yes, I'm so excited.
And those who are watching live, share with us where you're hanging from. We'll pop that up on the screen. And remember, we love to amplify other founders' businesses. So be sure to throw in your one-liner. Let me just, there we go. Amplify your brand. Share your business name, one-liner, and website URL in the comments, and we will showcase and celebrate you and your wonderful work live during the show. And remember, this show gets a lot of replay views across all the platforms and for months and years to come. So it's kind of good to get what you're doing and what you're working on out there in the world every way that you can. And just be sure to also have any questions or comments or give a thumbs up while we're chatting. We'd love to see you there, you live viewers. And everybody, remember to check. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. I'm so close to reaching that magic number of 1,000. And then YouTube gives me a little bit more of a lift so I can reach even more founders out in the world. So I really appreciate everybody's support. And hey, Elisa, founder of Arkita. Hey, Elisa, What are you doing in sunny Scottsdale? That's so great. You're usually Southern California. I love that you're hanging out in Scottsdale. It's one of my favorite places. And Brent from Ottawa, Canada. I'm always grateful when you tune in. I always feel your delicious vibe all the time. I love knowing you're there. Thank you for tuning in live. So, Solita, I got to say, when I ever saw on your LinkedIn profile this wonderful thing that you share about yourself, which is you're a carnival lover. What the
Ye-
heck? Where does that come from? Please tell us more about that.
yes, that's my way of letting my community know I'm more than a personal stylist. I am more than an image coach. That's my personal touch. And you wouldn't imagine how many persons, whenever they message me, they're like, Carnival lover, what is that? Can you tell me more about that? Because I wanted to not, we get into these professional settings and we think that we're supposed to be this way and we're
Yeah.
supposed to have the right title and the right this and right. It's like people want to be real. They want to connect with authentic people. And that's what I wanted from that one liner to say about me, that I'm a normal person. There are things that I like. And if you Google me and you see me in a costume, you wouldn't go, oh, what is this? This is not professional. I told you, I love carnival. I've lived in Antigua and Barbuda for most of my life until I moved to Atlanta. And in the Caribbean, we have carnival. We celebrate carnival. It's kind of different from what you may think of in the US. I think in the US, when you hear carnival, you think about going to a park and you have like, snow cones and these like a festival kind of thing. But
Oh, I
carnival,
think Cirque du Soleil.
exactly. Well, I'm trying to think of a way of saying it. It's a celebration of emancipation where we go on the road and we wear these costumes like different bands, and you put on costumes and you go on the road and have an amazing time. Now, if you Google me, you may find a video or me in a costume. That's me. It's my happy place. And one of the things that I love about it is because you embrace yourself. You get to embrace everything about you. There's no judgment. There is no, oh, my body is not right. It's like, no, you go on the road and you have an amazing time with so many people. And it brings me joy. Like, carnival is my happy place. For 2 days, I'm jamming on the road, have an amazing time. But it's like, yeah,
I
I
want
wish
to
I had
join
some
you.
feathers here to show you.
There's nothing makes me happier than putting on a costume and maybe a wig.
Ah, I mean, it's one of, and that's the thing. You get to dress it up however you want. You get to create your own version of your costume if you want to, but it's a fantastic experience. If anyone has ever looked at, okay, I want to play carnival, because you'll hear about Trinidad, Brazil, there's Antigua, there's St. Kitts, like around the islands. That's something
Well,
that happens for us. So
the
it's
next
amazing.
time I'm headed out, that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go during Carnival so I can slip
Yes.
right in and jam with everybody.
Oh,
Um, I want to celebrate a phenomenal company. Alyssa, we heard her earlier. She is the founder of Arcvita, and this is an online career guidance platform for ambitious professionals. And they really help you find the right place for you, not only to soar, but be welcomed and belong and have an incredible experience. And you deserve that, ambitious professionals. And thank you, Alyssa,
yeah.
for your remarkable work in the world as a fab tech female founder, who also, by the way, was in the financial world before she came into this. And that's my little segue, because you said you were in banking before you started to work with people as a style coach. Talk a little
Yes.
bit about that transition.
Oh, yes. So I've worked in banking for like 15 years plus. That was actually my first job when I got out of college. I was working in an admin role for a small company, and I was like, no, this is not going to allow me to live the life that I want. So I needed to get into grown people, like be a grown up. And banking was how I got into, working, just developing my professional career. I started as a teller. That's how I started my career. And then eventually I just kind of move up the ranks and move into wealth management before I transitioned out of Antigua and moving into the US. But one of the things that really stuck with me, why I really try to, in terms of what I do today, was part of the catalyst of it when I started my career in banking. That was my first professional job. Like, I was told to be professional and to look professional, you needed to wear this suit, you needed to look that way. And at the time, I didn't have like a lot of money. So I did what I could with what I had. And I bought two suits. It was, now that I think about it, I'm always like, why did you do that? It was pinstripe. They both were pinstripe. So one was black with white stripes, and one was white with black stripes. Don't ask me why I did that. I think that was all that was there, and I kind of just bought it. But I remember wearing, I don't think I wore the white one as much as I did as the black. And then one day my supervisor kind of like pulled me over and she's like, you're an amazing teller. You're doing great. There's so many things that you can accomplish. Your confidence is not that, like, I'm expecting a little bit more from you. And it may be as a result of the way you're presenting yourself. You know, your clothing is a little bit worn. I mean, she was so gracious and so kind in making that comment that, I mean, I wasn't offended at all. It actually embraced it. And at that point, I was like, oh, this is a thing. Appearance is a thing. It is part of who I am and the image that I want to portray. So having that conversation with her changed my entire life. And one of the things like I've never shared before is that even though she made the comment, she didn't just make the comment and just left it at that. I remember one Christmas, I got a pants and two shirt as a gift from her. And to this day, I'm like forever thankful for that because it changed my life. It changed
You
my
know, this is why mentorship matters, everybody. You know,
yes.
you're here to uplift. And the fact that she was able to be so empathetically honest with
Yeah.
you and, you know, and gave you the feedback in a way so that you could go, oh, I see, I get it.
Yeah.
I understand, you know, I need to be this way and brand myself for leadership. And sometimes, you know, and we can get into other topics about this when it isn't for a good reason, but it's important that when we show up, you know, we used to always say, suit up and show up. I mean, bring your essence and presence,
Yeah.
even if it's, you know, wearing a cool hat and glasses. I remember one woman, Solita, she was all about her eyewear and she would switch off that all the time. And honestly, everybody just, she became so much more relatable. And a lot of people
Yes.
knew her because what eyeglasses is she wearing today? Right. And
Yeah.
so it can be something as simple as that, right?
Absolutely. It is about you. So let's just kind of go back to what this definition of professional, right? We were all
Yes.
told that professional in this particular box, we were put in this box as to what professional looked like. And none of that allowed us to be our authentic self. Like the woman that you just referenced, she loved glasses, she loved changing her frames, and that was her personality and that was her thing, and that's what she became known for, and that's how she was able to build that relationship. But if you try to put yourself and stay within that professional box that wasn't defined to help self-expression or to embrace self-expression, you're not really allowing yourself, your authentic self, to come through, your authentic self to shine through. And people, and for people that you want to connect with you on that deeper level. So that's the thing that I do, and the work that I do is, as I
Yeah.
said, when I say boring, it's like that cookie cutter look that you were once wearing or are wearing currently. It's like, how can we take that out and infuse more of your personality? Let's take that away. Who are you as a person? Like when I see you on screen, Andy, like I'm like, yes, right? There's so much of you. It's genuine, it's authentic, and what you wear does represent that. And that's what you want, right?
Well, I
That's
had
what,
to learn that, and I will be forever grateful for my dear friend, Sudie Staub, who helped me own that for me. And because, you know, we're raised in different ways or impressed and informed in different ways that aren't true. I mean, I'm old enough to remember where we couldn't wear pantsuits. I was a banker, by the way, commercial lender for 3 years after I earned my MBA. And we, back in the day, women could not wear pants.
yeah.
Can you believe that? Can you imagine that?
I am still like mind blown by some of the things that, like when I read the history of style and fashion and things that women weren't allowed. Like you wear a pantsuit as a woman, it's like what? Or you had to wear stockings. I'm like,
Yeah.
we're no longer there, and thankfully we're getting out of that era, but there's still so much work to be done to be able to to really help women say, okay, who am I as a person and how do I want to show up, and no
Right.
longer being restricted and confined by those rules, because yeah, it's really sad to even think about it.
Well, and I want to say to the guys out there, just because Mark Zuckerberg started the whole t-shirt with a sweatshirt does not mean that's what you should be looking like or wearing.
So can I an interesting story on that, because I get
Yeah.
this all the time. Every time I talk about personal style and image, the importance of image, I always get, but Mark Zuckerberg wears a t-shirt and he's a billionaire. I'm like, yes, he is a billionaire. So he can define what his personal style is and show up as that person. And I read in a book recently, the same reference. It's like, yeah, but you didn't create something in your basement that's worth $1 billion. You are still looking for a job, right?
Right.
You're still trying to connect. And but the thing is, though, when it comes to, and this is why it's so important to define your personal style for yourself, not to look at someone else like Mark Zuckerberg and say, well, he's a billionaire, he's wearing t-shirts, you should accept me in my t-shirt. Really, is that the image that you want to present? We tend to forget that when Mark do need to step up and wear a suit, he does, because he knows he's not going to be taken seriously. The fact that if he wears that t-shirt into certain environments,
Yeah.
the message will be lost. And when he was trying to source funding, he wasn't walking around with a t-shirt. Like he wasn't going into banks with a t-shirt. So he adopted to the dress code of the environment that he was going into. But now he doesn't have anything to prove. He's not asking anyone for anything. It's like you either buy my company or you don't. You either join Facebook or you don't. It doesn't really do anything for him. But if you're
Right.
building your career or your business, your image is your packaging. It's important for you to show up the way you want to show up. Now, if you decided that your personal style is a t-shirt and jeans, there are ways to make that not look sloppy. I'm trying to remember the commercial that I saw. Um, it's one of those commercials where the guy, they were on a, the gentleman and the woman, they were on a date, but he showed up with his t-shirt and it was like drooping under, like the collar was like all over the place, and she kind of looked at him like you can wear a t-shirt, just don't make it look like that.
Right.
Right? You can still be your authentic self in a t-shirt and jeans without looking sloppy. That's the difference. It's not
That's
about
right.
me saying to you that you shouldn't wear jeans and t-shirt. If that's the environment and your personal style that supports that, then totally go for it. But understand that the image that you're projecting, that's the image that people are going to interpret about you. So it's totally up to you what the message that you want to translate.
That's right. Hey, Jessica Sannon, one of my favorite female founders out there, founder, well, I'll let her throw that information in there. Hey, Jessica, Solita, go ahead and read Jessica's comment because I love it.
Oh yes, this is a fantastic question, Jessica, and it's one that I'm actually in a in one way I'm actually addressing this question in my uh content on LinkedIn as a LinkedIn content creator member. It's like, how do you combat culture? Jessica's question is like, how do you combat culture and societal norms and expectations of what you should wear? Absolutely amazing question. And there are a lot of women that struggle with this. It's like, how do I be myself and fit into this societal cultural norm of what professional is? Let me give you an example, Jessica. So you're working in the tech industry. Generally, in the tech industry, women get into that space, and we tend to feel as though to fit in, we have to wear the jeans and the t-shirt and dress kind of like the boys, like show up like the boys, because we think that's acceptable. But really and truly, you don't feel confident wearing jeans and t-shirt. You want to wear a little bit more. How can you ensure that you're not going above everyone else, but at the same time dressing in a way that's comfortable for you? I call it just swapping your pieces out. So you can swap your jeans out for some chinos, something a little bit more dressy, or you can swap your t-shirt out for maybe just a button-down shirt. But it's knowing what that dress code is for that organization, and the dress code is important, which is can be business casual, it can be casual, traditional. Like once you know what the dress codes are, then you look at how do I want to present myself. So instead of this particular dress code being in this industry being casual, yes, how can I not be your general casual person that looks like I roll out of my bed? What can I do extra? So look at the focus on the dress code, and not so much so what everyone else is wearing. Like, how do you want to show up? Match that to the dress code. That's a
Yeah.
that question. I
And
want to thank you for that question, Jessica, because I think it's an important one to really get to the heart of the matter of when it comes to dressing your authentic self. There's parts of you that you want to bring to your company, you want to bring to your work environment, you want to bring in your career. And you can do that when you understand the dress code and when you understand, okay, how can I craft my outfit in a way that's still in I don't want to say put you in a box, but it's more of it's still in line with the company culture, but it's more you, more authentic. So thanks,
and
Jessica.
and Jessica, one of our local fab female founders, Queen, I want to say Adelaide, bringing beautiful, gorgeous African wear to the world. So she shows up
Yeah,
with the hat, with the long flowing jacket, but and all of that, because that is also her brand. Sometimes
exactly.
chefs, you'll see them always have like a chef jacket on wherever they go to show that they are in food. And so Jessica has an additional question. And she's saying, not just that, but the role of assimilating to the dominant culture takes a mental toll on gaining opportunities, equity, and access, and the fear of trying to fit in. Oh, women, give me a high five and a thumbs up in the comments if you know what Jessica's talking about here.
And this is, I'm gonna say this is why it's so important for women to step up, to not try to, because I've had situations where I talked about personal styling, had conversations with women about personal styling. They're like, oh no, I mean it sounds great, but in my environment it is 90% male and I don't want to walk in there wearing a dress. Why not? Okay, so there's the other part of it to that where as a woman in that environment you're a bit self-conscious because unfortunately there are men in the environment that don't respect us and don't value what we have up here, but they're focusing on our image. And as a result, women are hiding and saying that, okay, I don't want to be sexualized. I don't want to be a victim of sexual harassment or anything like that. So I'm going to wear the hoodie and the jeans instead of the skirt and the button down top. If you find yourself in that environment, I'm going to be quite honest. If you find yourself in that environment where you're not able to be yourself and you're not confident, you're not comfortable, that's an environment that you don't need to be in, right? That we should no longer subject ourselves as women to those environments for the sake of building our careers. Like, absolutely not.
And I bet, Alyssa, I'm thinking of you and Arvita, as you prepare people to find the best place for them, when you do your homework, you're looking at how folks vibe
Yes.
in, and so you can look at team photos, you can stalk them on LinkedIn
A little
and
bit of
however,
stalking never hurt.
and see how they're showing up and say, okay, so I can bring my interesting style. And this is also very important for the gender fluid community so that
Yes.
they can move and breathe and be comfortable in what they're wearing as well.
Exactly. That is the focus. As I said, the focus for me in terms of being a member of the LinkedIn Accelerator program, it's breaking down that cultural and societal norms as to what professional looks like. Because as we know right now, not every we're not all the same, right? We all don't identify by, okay, you have a dress code that says women should wear skirts. Like, that person may not feel comfortable in a skirt. Like, is your environment inclusive enough? Is your company inclusive enough when it comes to appearance and dress code to allow everyone to feel comfortable and confident being in that environment. And that's
Yeah.
an important factor when we talk about diversity and we talk about inclusion. And when we talk about bridging that gender gap, we have to include how someone shows up in that space. How comfortable are they bringing their authentic self? And authenticity is not just being able to speak up, it's not just being able to say, okay, I'm building communities and I'm connecting, but authenticity is being able to embrace who I am and being able to bring part of my personality to the environment. So for me, my love for carnival then extends to the fact that I love colors. If everyone in the environment is wearing black and white, I am going to wear my color, right? That's me. But I don't want to feel as though if I wear my color suit to work or I wear a color, shirt inside, everybody's like, oh no, that's not welcome. It's like, then you're not accepting who I am.
Right. And as Alyssa says here, you got to do the inner work first to know
Yes.
what your style is.
Yes.
And, I guess, and her comment is verbal communication based on clarity and confidence comes before style at work. And so that's important. And to understand, are you tailored? Are you flowy? Are you more masculine in how you dress? Are you more feminine? Are you like heels no matter what?
Yeah.
Or are you high top sneakers? Are you accessories?
Exactly. Style is it's an inside job. It starts there with self-awareness, like knowing who you are as a person, not what society thinks that you should be, or everyone else around you is telling you who you should be. It's like, who are you? What are some of the things that you love? What are some of the things that you don't love? When I speak of things that you love, it's not, oh, I love pants over dresses. Yes, that's a factor of it, but what are some things that for me, I love carnival. What aspect of carnival do I love, and can I fuse some of that into my personality, into my appearance, so that it creates a level of conversation. If you see me wearing oh, I've always seen you wear, you're always so bright and colorful, that's a conversation, because I can then tell you about myself and some personal things about me. So doing that inside work is important. Understanding who you are is important. And then, of course, deciding, where do you want to take your career? Where do you want to take your business? Who are your people? Who are your community? And showing up as your authentic self into those rooms, and 9 times
That's
out of
right.
10, people are going to like you for that.
And if black outfits, colors, and tones are what you love to wear, and you want to be the monosyncratic, what's the word for the
Monochromatic, like a
chromatic?
monochrome look. Oh no, it always gets me. I'm like, oh yeah, the monochrome look. Like, really,
Monochromatic, that's okay. But see, style isn't just that. It's like, well, am I going to wear J. Jill kind of styles, off the rack at TJ Maxx if you want?
yeah,
Or am I going to have a different look with my monochromatic style? So
yeah,
it's a lot of fun to explore this.
yes, it
And
is.
I'm going to just pop up Jessica's comment here. Go ahead and read this, Solita.
I'm also learning how to show up authentically so that I can appreciate. Oh, so that I really appreciate this conversation. I love that you appreciate this conversation, Jessica, because that is like when I work with my clients, that's the goal. Being your authentic self, right? Not hiding parts of you. I mean, how often have you said, or maybe you've heard your colleagues or your friends say, oh, I don't want to wear that because I don't want to appear too. And there's too something within my community. Is like, oh, I don't want to wear braids because I don't want to appear too black, or I don't want to do color nails, like I'm wearing color nails because I don't want to appear this way. It's like, no, how can you be yourself? It's not about trying to fit into a mold of what society thinks you should be, but how can you be yourself? And one of like what I appreciate about the time that we're in right now, there's a lot of self-discovery and there's a lot of self-awareness, and there's a lot of us that are tapping into our values. If we have never defined it before, we're truly defining it and trying to align ourselves with companies, with careers, with business, with organizations, and everything that's aligned with our values. And I think that's just an amazing approach that we're on to really showing up in our authentic self.
Right. And you can do it on a Zoom call. You can do it right here on a live stream, bring whatever it is. Everybody knows I'm all about the Andelicious. I'm all about the bright colors. But as far as style, I'm also about the tailored look.
Yes.
Having survived the early 90s, I can tell you I'm not into the boxy. You remember Meg Ryan and
Yeah.
Sleepless in Seattle
Yes.
and the long skirts. I will never wear that. I'm more of the 60s in fashion. But you can figure this out and spend the time. And you're so great because you've got your 5 pillars of style. Talk a little bit about this, Solita.
Yes, yes. So when we talk about style, generally, as women, we weren't really taught anything about style. We either watched our mother, aunt, or all the females around us, and then of course we're told when we go into the workplace as to what to wear. But when it comes to defining our style for ourselves, a lot of women is like, okay, where do I start? What do I do? So I created this document. It's like 5 step pillars of what style is, so it can give you work as a guideline to help you through the process of developing your personal style. And the first thing is that you need to start with self-love. Too many times when we are thinking about our style and we're thinking about ourselves and our appearance, we're standing from the mirror. Very few of us actually do it, but for those of us who do, we find everything that's wrong, from your body to your hair to your face to your lips to every single thing. You're like, oh, nothing works, I don't like anything. It's like, no. The first step to really finding your personal style is self-love. You have to start with you, self-love. And then what we do after that, we take an inventory. What's in your closet? What's the message that you want to send? Because once you understand who you are and you start loving yourself, you don't need to go in your closet and see if you have things in your closet that make you hate yourself, that may not fit you, that you don't feel great in, don't represent who you are. It's not the message you want to send. Take those out.
If they don't
Then
bring you joy, right? Just like decluttering your home, right?
exactly, exactly. If it doesn't bring you joy, if you walk into your closet and you are 9 times out of 10 frustrated by things in your closet, first of all, we need to talk. And second, it's time to really look at it and say, okay, this should not happen. Like, no part in my life, nothing around me should bring me this much of anxiety and frustration, because you live in your clothes. You cannot go out in the world without clothes. So going into your closet should be a happy experience for
You
you.
should be like, hello,
Yeah,
everyone.
no, especially you, so many things are happening. It's like you don't want to walk into your closet going, okay, so I have to go to this business meeting today. What am I going to wear? Like, oh my gosh, but there's nothing in here that works. I don't feel great in this. I don't like, you don't want that, because
That's right.
now you're going into that meeting with extra frustration,
Yeah.
with extra anxiety, where you should have a free mind to be able to go into that meeting and say, okay, one, I feel great, so I'm not focusing on that. I can focus on my message. I can focus on, if you're selling a product or you're trying to get that job, whatever it is. That's when you feel confident in what you're wearing, you're no longer focusing on that. Your focus now is your message and what you're saying.
Right. And so then number 3.
Is to own your style. Too many times, and we see it on social media, influencers, and everybody's telling you try this and wear that, and this is the latest trend, and it's a lot of noise. Once you define what your style is, own it. If you decided, in my case, my thing is you're gonna always see me in some form of color. Even if I'm wearing a black suit, there's gonna be a pop of color somewhere. I own that. That is my style. That's my message. That's what makes me happy. That's how I want to represent myself. So own your style.
I love that. That's empowerment right there. And then we have number 4.
Understand less is more. You don't need a full closet. You don't need to go online and be like, okay, I need 500, $1,000, $5,000 because I need to buy more things. It's like, no, start small. How many pieces do you need to start your closet? Quality over quantity. That is the focus. It's not about trying to have a huge closet clutter and full with things. It's like, what are the essential pieces do you need? And this is key. When you think less is more, you must be able to create multiple outfits with the pieces that you have in your closet. It's a capsule wardrobe that's interchangeable and has some personality and colors in it.
And I can
On
tell
my
you, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, on my YouTube channel, there is a video as to how you can add personality to your capsule or your professional wardrobe. And I show you an example as to how you change from your black and white and blue and add colors in there. So if anyone is interested, then definitely go and check that out. Style with Solita. Style to Impact with Solita is my YouTube channel. I actually don't have
And
it here,
links
but yeah.
will be in the show notes, everybody. But also, I highly recommend you follow Solita on Instagram because she does phenomenal reels, and she'll come in with these different outfit changes, interchanging the same pieces and showing how you can have it all work at the same time. I love that. And what's number 5?
Number 5, exercise patience. You have to. It takes practice, like anything you're learning for the first time, or you're getting used to really showing up for yourself. You can't do it today. It's not one and done. You do it today, and it's like, okay, yeah, tomorrow you fall off. It's like, no, exercise patience with yourself. If you find there are days that you may have that little bit of frustration in terms of, okay, what do I do today? How do I style this piece? It's like, it's okay. Go back to your lookbook, and this is where I work with my clients in creating a lookbook. So every time you put on an outfit and you feel great in it, take a photo. You create that digital lookbook, so on days when you're like, okay, what do I wear today, and it's like, no, let's not get frustrated on it. Go back to your digital lookbook, if that's on your phone, and scroll through and find one of those outfits that you would have worn in the past. I'm super big on repeating outfits. There's no such thing as wear today and that's it. Find one of those and wear it again, but have patience, give yourself grace. It takes time. You're not going to perfect it right off the bat, but the most important thing is to be consistent. It's to do a little every day, and eventually you'll realize that, oh, wow, I'm doing this like every other thing in my life, right? It becomes a norm. The more you practice, your habit then becomes a norm. So that's the
And
5 pillars.
it is, and they're wonderful. And I especially like that 5th one, the book, take photos so you don't have to think about this. Sometimes we can get so busy, especially moms. Come on, you've got to run and fly, and you've got a lot going on, even with the kids at home, and you need to maybe it's just the above the waist outfit that you're working on for your Zoom calls. Have them already set aside. So that's the last thing you need to think about, including the accessories that go along with that outfit. Jessica has another great question. She says, I'm trying to balance new clothes that I'm buying versus repurposing the clothes that I already have so that I can save my money. Do you have any advice on how to budget wisely?
Budgeting for clothing, like every time I say budgeting for clothing, because when we think buying clothes is superficial, right? It's like, no, budgeting for your image. I like to put it that way, because your image is what you're using to amplify your brand. What you wear, that's what you're using to connect. Use it, set your budget the same way you would your food, your light bill, and everything like that. It's like, how much do you want to allot to your budget based on your income? How much can you afford? And one of the ways to be able to determine that is to identify brands that you want to shop at, and also have your list of items that you would like to purchase. So let's say, for instance, you've identified like Ande works for me. It has everything that I need in terms of colors, in terms of having that professional look. If that's your brand, and you say, okay, going into my closet right now, I've identified that I really need 2 more dress shirts. I need 1 dress, and I need a pair of shoes. Looking on Ann Taylor's site, how much is that going to cost you? If those items are going to cost you, let's say $500, do you have the $500 to invest in it right away? If you don't, then you create a budget. Like, what is that item that you need first? Is it the shoes that you need first? Then you budget for that, in that, okay, that shoe's going to cost me $20, and I can only buy that in this pay period, or in this cycle, or in this quarter, and that is what I'm going to do. So
Or wait
set
till
your
it's on
budget.
sale.
And exactly, that's another way. You can wait on it to go on sale if that's something that like you don't need it immediately. You can wait on it to go on sale. But there are also sites that you can save on as well. When you're shopping, you can get those cash back. So even if you pay 30, actually no, Ann Taylor shoes are like $80. There's sites that you can get the cash back if they're not having a sale and you need it immediately. But if they do, this is why it comes down to creating that list again of things that you want, just like you will operate your home, just like you will operate your business, where you have a list of things that you need. You do the same thing when it comes to your wardrobe. So you're not spending and you're like, okay, yeah, I just bought that dress, but yeah, I don't like
Hey,
it. And it's like,
yeah, you've got to think about it like this. Okay, so maybe you make an investment and it really hits your budget, i.e., it goes on your credit card and you're paying it off for a while.
yeah,
But if that's something that you are going to wear 50, 100 times, even, you can see that it comes down to pennies for every time. And not only you can't even, in my opinion, put a value on how great it makes you feel. And Renee, hi, Renee Donnelly, so happy to see you. She says, so true. Clothes can pep you up or bring you down. And so,
absolutely.
sometimes, you know, I can find something, like, oh, that's great. And it's only $12, but then I wear it once, I've just thrown away $12.
Absolutely.
So, and did I feel really good about it? And I think that is a really defining point, Solita, too, is how does this make me feel? And if it brings a smile to your face and you're ready to go out and take the world over,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah, it is. And cost per wear is important. As you said before, it's like when you look at the investment, so you purchase and go back, it goes back to the pillar that I spoke about, where less is more, quality over quantity. Your focus should always be on buying quality pieces. So even if you spend that item, let's say it's on sale and it's $60, but it's a good quality shoes, if you divide that by the amount of years that you have it, you realize that, okay, yes, I spent $60, but I've had it for 5 years. Now, I may have been in banking. I'm not pretty good with math. I always say I'm good at banking math, not general math. So you take that $60, and you have that item that you've worn for 5 years. Then when you do the math on that, you realize that you just spent penny on the dollars for this particular shoes.
That's
Now,
right.
you
Of
can go
course,
the opposite and buy a shoes for $20, but it only lasts you 6 months. You literally just wasted $20. So you have to look at it that way in terms of it's an
that's right.
investment.
And just like hairstyles out there that will never look good on you, it's the same thing with fad styles and makeup styles and accessory styles that you see all the famous people on the red carpet wearing, or in Vogue or other magazines, fashion magazines that you follow. Does not mean it's right for you. Who you
Exactly.
are, your body shape, your mindset, etc. And I have to tell you, Justin, so happy to see you in the threads here. This is a gentleman who has style times 1,000.
I
Justin, you rock the style. And here's his comment: looking the part truly does matter. So know your audience, no matter the situation. If you know who you are and be your authentic self, you can't go wrong.
I love that. I'm looking at your profile picture, Justin, and it just says, yes, fashion, this is me. And that's what you want to connect. It's a connector. It's also a connector that allows you to connect with the people that you are looking to connect with. Not everyone is going to appreciate your personal style, and that's okay. There are people that you're trying to connect with. There are rooms that you're trying to get into that's going to appreciate who you are. So 100% go for it. I have suits and there you
Go ahead and
go.
read it
There
out.
you
Read
go.
it out loud, Salida.
Yeah, Justin says I have suits I got at discount stores. Had them tailor and they look like $1,000,000. Your tailor, Justin, that's it. That is the key. So you can, oh, you're talking my language. Because we tend to think that, okay, you walk into a store and you have to spend this amount of money to look good, design the clothing to look good. No, get a relatively affordable suit, then go to your tailor and have them fit it to your body. And nothing is more amazing than that, because it feels like it was made for you, and everyone can see your confidence when you walk up. And of course, it lasts for years.
Hey,
Absolutely.
Justin, would you put the URL to your business into the comment section so I can pop it up? We interviewed Justin in 2021, a phenomenal founder making a huge difference in our LGBTQ plus community with his work and business. So happy you swung by and shared that incredible nugget. Folks, tailors are not as expensive as you think they are, right,
Yeah,
Salita?
absolutely. Absolutely. You have to find, I mean, it's the price points are different, like everything. Price points are different, so find the tailor that fits your budget and does a really good job. One of the things that I highly suggest, if you're new to working with a tailor, find 2 or 3 pieces that you have in your closet that you really don't mind if the tailor don't do such a great job with it, and find 2 or 3 tailors and take each item to one of them and see who tailors your item exactly the way you want it. And that's going to be your go-to person that you take your items to get it tailored. So trial and error, try a few persons and see what's going to happen, because you may find a tailor that didn't necessarily do what you want, and you may find one like the first time off the bat everything is done correctly and exactly how you want it. But it takes doing that type of research to be able to find your tailor.
Yep. And once you got that tailor, folks, it takes on a whole new level of making sure that you style to impact for who you are and what impact you want to have on the world, what kind of influence you want to have on the world. And thank you, Justin. EqualityMD.com, everybody. Okay. Visit this business. I am celebrating you, Justin, and your team and everything you're doing out there. Remarkable business that helps LGBTQ plus community folks who identify at one of those letters, find the right doctor who is not going to judge them, that they can feel safe in their community and how they identify as a human. So I am just a huge fan of Justin and his remarkable platform, equalitymd.com. Thank you, Justin. Oh my gosh. I want to bring this up right here for a second so that everybody knows about your wonderful ebook. And it's styletoimpact.com ebook. Go ahead and tell everybody about it, Solita.
Yes. So when I thought about, what will make the most impact to women in terms of helping them to move through the challenges that they're having in terms of showing up as themselves and being able to style your bold self, being able to show up as your most confident self. I looked at one of some of the struggles that I went through in finding my personal style, in finding my voice, because this ebook is not just about finding your personal style. It's about finding your voice. It's about finding your confidence. It's about knowing what are some of the things that you want to accomplish and identifying what those things are and knowing exactly how you want to show up. So I've created the 5 secrets to help you go through that process so that you can come out on the other side knowing not only who you are, but the message that you want to send, right? Your branding, your voice, your thought leadership, whatever that is on the other side of it. So the ebook, you can get that at styletoimpact.com/ebook. What happens? You can download. So here's where I made it, because you have these journal prompts and questions that's thought provoking for you to go through. It's 26 pages. Now, I know we've all been guilty of downloading ebooks and guides, and we download it and we save it on our computers and that's it. But I'm trying to make this as interactive as possible, because if you do the work, you get the results. So what I've done, yes, you can get the guide 26 pages at once, but I've broken it down over the course of 6 emails or more, where you're getting the first email will give you the guide, and then the second email will help you along. Like, we're working on secret number 1 together, and with that comes an accompanying video with me. So it's literally like me, you're sitting with me and you're spending that time with me as you go through the ebook. So you're not just doing it on your own, but you have me as a resource to guide you through the process to make sure that you get that done. So grab that note. I promise it's a guide that once you do the work and you practice and you answer the questions, it's going to be like mind blowing. Because I've had people, I've had women go to me like, oh my gosh, I never thought of that question. Like, I've never thought of asking myself that question. And when I did answer that question, I was like, oh, wow, that's how I view myself. Then I shouldn't, I need to make the shift and the change here. So definitely go get that if you are working on styling your authentic self.
I'll have the links in the show notes, everybody, so you can just click on that baby and download it, whether you're listening on the podcast or watching the replay. I shared it in the comment section also for the live viewers to grab the book. I'm so excited about that. And I am just so thrilled that you came on the show and shared so much outstanding information for us to really embody our character, our style, and keep it also not only in alignment with our authentic self, but also in alignment with our business. You know, founders, you are going to be asked to present, be on panels, be promoting your business, talking to customers. Confidence is so important in this high landscape of high uncertainty, right? And so understanding your style and having that nailed down so that the only thing that you're thinking about is, am I feeling like this outfit today or am I feeling like that outfit today? Of course, this is why I take trunks when I go traveling. I can't travel light because it's a feel decision. But this is what's so important. You deserve to have this nailed down as a founder, as the leader of your team, as a person who also says, hey, I honor that in my team. This is how you're going to show up, you know, high tops or heels. I love that about you because it's you. And so it makes a more inclusive community. How long have you been with your business now, Solita, having left banking and working as a style coach?
So officially, I like to say officially, I started Style to Impact last year. I've always, like, the years just go by. I started in 2020. That's when I started I started my business. We're actually in 2022. Wow.
I know.
But I practiced. So I've been a stylist for at least 5 years now. But officially, once I moved to the US, I call it my official start because for me, when I started my business, I was in that space where I wasn't feeling great about myself. There were a lot of things that were happening around me. I was applying for positions and wasn't getting anything. And, the no's kept coming. And eventually, I kind of lost my self-esteem. I kind of lost my confidence. And so I needed to, like, I need to create a yes. I call it creating my yes. That's what I did. When I started Style to Impact, it was about creating my yes. And at the same time, using my yes to empower women who are maybe had similar feelings as me, or struggling with their confidence and trying to find their voice and their place within the world. And they needed that extra boost when it comes to what they were and how they presented themselves. So yeah, it was just out of a matter of creating my own yes. I needed that.
Hold on, everybody. You know what I got coming on here? Stitch that on a pillow.
Yeah.
Creating my own yes.
Yes.
Come on, that's so powerful. And how has this journey served you? You've been at it for almost, a full 2 years. And as everybody knows, I feel so strongly that the entrepreneurship journey is the best personal development program out there. How has this journey served you in just a short period of time? How has it enhanced you both personally and professionally?
Oh, we all know entrepreneurship. It's a beautiful thing. On days they're like, you want to go, why did I do this? Right. But I honestly wouldn't trade it for anything because it allows me to tap into my values and determine for myself what are my contributions? What's my voice? What do I want to say? There's no one censoring my voice. There's no one censoring how I show up in my business. So being an entrepreneur has been a tremendous growth experience for me, not just personally, but professionally as well, because I get to touch so many different lives. I get to work with women that want to make bigger impact in their lives and going through a similar journey as myself, or maybe they're starting over, right? So that in itself, for me, I could not get that from working with a corporation. Being able to have that is an amazing thing. So if you're thinking about entrepreneurship, it's going to be tough. I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to lie, it's going to be tough. But if you tie that to your value add, like not the value add in terms of finance, but your value add in terms of who you are as a person and how do you want to feel when you connect with someone, when you help someone, that is the icing on the cake. That's the
That's
reason
the
for doing
pure
it all.
gold, everybody. I love that. Thank you so much. And coming on, sharing your outstanding advice for what does style really mean and investing in style instead of looking at it as clothes, looking at it as your image, your style, how you want to influence and how you want to empower through the voice of what you are putting on your body. That is
Absolutely.
authentically you. So it can be speaking for you before you open your mouth, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I want everyone to please visit. Let me just bring this up again. Please visit style2impact.com and to learn all about Solita and how she can serve you and help you in the world. She's got a very easy book a call button right up there, easy breezy. And be sure to follow her on LinkedIn. It's her number one platform for sharing the gems. Very well known for that, as well as Instagram. I promise you're going to love her carnival vibe with your reels. You're amazing, Solita. Thank you so much for joining us today. Any last thoughts before I pop you in the green room?
So what I wanted to leave, because we're talking about startup life, we're talking about venturing out and doing something for yourself. I want to leave this. Give yourself grace. And don't try to emulate anyone else. I know this is something that you probably have heard a million times, but as human beings, we look at everyone's progress and we look at everyone's highlight reel, and then we compare ourselves and we're like, okay, why am I not getting this? Why am I not hitting that? But if you're consistent and you tap into what I said, your value, like what is it you want to bring to the market? What is it you want to contribute to the world? I promise you're going to see the results that you want. Just keep going, but don't compare yourself. It's easy said than done, but try as much as you can to just put on those blinders and tap into your value add. Every single time you feel as though you're questioning yourself, ask yourself, okay, what do I want to see? What is my voice? What is my contribution? And I promise you'll get the results that you want.
That's Ande Licious advice right there, Solita. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for bringing your wisdom and your carnival style and your deep understanding of how our clothing, the impact of the investment in our attire can really bring wonderful messages to the world and make our journey a lot easier.
Thank you very much for having me, Andy. This was an amazing conversation. I appreciate you having me on the show.
Oh, thank you, Solita. And thank you, live viewers, replay viewers, for tuning in. I'm so grateful for your presence. I know we learned a lot from Solita today because we tend to come in with some preconceived ideas and misconceptions about style. And I have to tell you, it's so important to know who you are. And I'm going to be downloading, taking another look at that ebook. I hope you do too. Let me just share with you real quickly who's coming up next on the Startup Life live show. We are going to be talking with Karen Bussin. She's the founder of Farewelling, a modern funeral and memorial planning platform that's redesigning how we think about, talk about, and plan for an essential part of the human journey. And Farewelling has already helped thousands of families navigate the loss of a loved one with memorial websites, virtual events, and a whole suite of tools and resources to create a truly personal tribute to someone special. And how do you know when I'm posting a new show? You join the meetup group. That's where you'll get alerts. Or, of course, you can follow me everywhere I glow. And I'm here usually Tuesdays and Fridays, sharing the love of startup life. I'm so grateful you all tuned in, and I'm wishing you a delicious day wherever you are. Mwah, mwah, mwah. See you next time.